Every nation in the world has a well-known hero. They are a good citizen who has made a significant contribution to their community. Not one, but 9 persons are honored as heroes in the Philippines. On November 15, 1995, the National Heroes Committee recommended them. Now, let us know the biographies of those well-known Filipinos who made significant contribution to the country's freedom. Dr. Jose Rizal, the pride of Malay race, a distinguished novelist, poet, physician, linguist, statesman, and a Philippine national hero. He was an active Filipino to seek for the reform of his country during Spanish government through his novel No Limitangere and the El Filibusterismo. These books brought out the cruelty, especially to his countrymen. It spread out the whole world about the Spanish tyrant. This led for the sudden death of Rizal. Andres Bonifacio, the father of the revolution, second famous hero of our race. He is a Filipino revolutionary and a hero who founded the kataas-taasan na kagalang-galang na katipunan ng anak ng bayan, KKK or Katipunan, a secret organization dedicated to fighting against the Spanish who conquered the Philippines. This organization initiated a rebellion against the Spanish in 1896. Emilio Aguinaldo, the head of the First Republic or the first president of the Philippines. He led the Philippines forces in the first battle against Spain during of the Philippine Revolution and later in the Spanish-America War. Apolinario Mabini, the sublime paralytic advisor of the Philippine Revolution. He was one of the founders of La Liga Filipina who supported the reform movement. A man of sublime ideals, that was Apolinario Mabini, sought the freedom of our country. He was a courageous patriot, a sagacious philosopher, and a learned statesman. Apolinario Mabini was born to a poor family on July 23, 1664, and he became paralyzed in 1896. When Emilio Aguinaldo heard of Mabini's brilliant mind, he appointed Mabini as his chief advisor. Since then, the paralyzed Mabini was carried wherever Aguinaldo needed him. His paralysis did not hinder him from working hard to gain the country's independence. Marcelo H. del Pilar, editor of the popular La Solidaridad, leading propagandist. Del Pilar was a reformist who wrote and advocated for Philippine reforms during Spanish colonial era. He published several newspapers in Tagalog and Spanish, specifically criticizing the church for oppressing and taking advantage of the natives. He advocated for better civil liberties for the native people, Filipino participation in government, and representation in Spanish government in Spain. Sultan Dipatuan Kudarat. He was a sultan of Mindanao during the first half of the 17th century. Brave, wise, and benevolent, he was the greatest and strongest Mindanao sultan that ever lived. He united the Muslims of Lanao, Cotabato, Davao, Sulu, Zamboanga, and North Borneo, and resisted bitterly the Spanish invasion of his domain. Unable to conquer Sultan, the Spanish governor signed a pact with him that led to several years of peace. He was a fearless fighter and a Filipino hero in defense of the Islamic faith and Philippine liberty. Juan Luna. Juan Luna is without doubt the most famous and celebrated Filipino artist in the history of Philippines, with iconic and remarkable masterpieces such as Spolarium, Blood Compact, and The Death of Cleopatra. His work is remembered as one of the principal examples of Romanticism and Realicism's school of art. Juan was not just an artist, he was also a revolutionary and influential political activist who was an active participant in the Philippines Revolution that took place in the late of 19th century. Melchora Aquino, also known as Tandang Sora. Melchora Aquino was 84 years old when she became involved with the Philippine Revolution. She largely contributed to the Katipunan and was nicknamed the Mother of the Katipunan. Andres Bonifacio, the leader of the Katipunan, consulted her several times for his large decision-making for the organization. The first open act of defiance against Spain was at her eldest son's house during the 1896 Cry of Caloocan. Approximately 1,000 Katipuneros came together to tear their cedulas or community tax certificates given to them by the Spanish. Tandang Sora used her home to host several secretive meetings for the Katipuneros. During this time, she would cook for those who attended the meetings. She also used her home to nurse several Katipuneros who became injured after battle. Maria Josefa Gabriela Carreño Silang, known as Gabriela Silang, is remembered as a fearless warrior and a great leader of the people of the Philippines. She was a military general in the resistance to Spanish colonialism and led the longest sustained revolt against the colonizers. Her brave legacy has persevered long past her death. The memory of Gabriela's actions has continued to guide women and men in the struggles against imperialism. And here are the other Philippine heroes who also contributed greatly against Spanish colonization. Lapu-Lapu. Lapu-Lapu was known under other names such as Silapulapu, Salipulaku, Kalipulaku, and Lapu-Lapu di Mantag. Lapu-Lapu was the ruler of Mactan Island in the Visayas, Philippines. He was known to be the first native chieftain in the archipelago to resist a foreign intrusion on the Visayan Islands and regarded as the first Filipino hero. It was during his reign as Dato or King of Mactan Island when the Spaniards first came to the Philippine Islands in the 16th century. The conquistadores arrived in the Mazawa Island, whose local chieftain readily embraced Christianity and got baptized. And also, he was widely known as a hero who opposed colonization by banquising Portuguese explorer Ferdinand Magellan in the Battle of Mactan on April 27, 1521. Diego Silang Y. Andaya was a Filipino revolutionary and a rebel leader who conspired with the British forces to overthrow the Spanish in the northern Philippines and establish an independent Ilocano nation. His revolt was foiled by grievances stemming from Spanish tributes and abuses, and his belief in self-government that the administrations and leadership of the Roman Catholic and the government in the Ilocos region at this time did not include Pangasinan should be led to train Ilocano officials. Emilio Jacinto Y. Dizon. He was one of the highest-ranking officers in the Philippine Revolution and was one of the highest-ranking officers of the Revolutionary Society, Katastaasan, Kagalang-galang na Katipunan ng Anak ng Bayan, or simply and more popularly called Katipunan, being a member of its Supreme Council. He also known as the brains of the Katipunan when it comes to military matters. His books, entitled Cartilla, was the one used by the Katipuneros as their guide in fighting the Spanish colonizers. It contained the constitution and bylaws of the Katipunan. Reading books was one of Emilio's greatest passions. Gregoria de Jesus Y. Alvarez was known to be the mother of Philippine Revolution and also known by her nickname Uriang. She was the founder and the vice president of the women's chapter of the Katipunan of the Philippines. She was also the custodian of the documents and seal of the Katipunan. She married Gat Andres Bonifacio, the Supremo of the Katipunan and President of the Katagalugan Revolutionary Government. She played a major and one of the important roles in the Philippine Revolution. Jose Abad Santos was the fifth Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of the Philippines. He briefly served as the acting president of the Commonwealth of the Philippines and acting commander-in-chief of the Armed Forces of the Philippines during World War II on behalf of President Quezon after the government went into exile the United States. After about 2 months, he was executed by the Japanese forces for refusing to cooperate during the occupation of the country. And Josefa Badamba Daniez Escoda was a Filipino civic leader, social worker, World War II heroine, and suffragette. She is the most known for campaigning for women's suffrage and as a founder of the Girl Scouts of the Philippines. Escoda played an important role during World War II, where she offered aid to prisoners of war and helped reconnect them with families in Manila. With the help of the other women that she trained, beginning the trust of the Japanese forces, Escoda would use the resources to pass on to local prisoners in camps.
You can be a hero in different ways. That would be all. Thank you and God bless us all.